This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 221 of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have good neighbor Rast Bryant from Lloyd Roofing. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's good to get to know people in the community and share their stories with our listeners. So without further ado, let's jump right in. And why don't you share a little bit about Lloyd Roofing?
Great. So Lloyd Roofing was founded in Southwest Florida in 2017. We're a residential and commercial roofing company. We do everything from roof replacements to repairs, maintenance, and even new construction roof installs.
And I'm sure you've seen an influx of clients over the past couple of years with Ian, Helene, Milton coming through.
It's been a busy couple of years, no doubt.
I'm sure, and that's a good thing. So let's back up your story a little bit. How did you get involved in the roofing industry?
Well, it's actually an odd story. I was in IT consulting prior to getting into the roofing industry. And I got really tired of sitting at a desk and staring at a computer all day. And so I wanted to find something that maybe had some more outside elements. I had a buddy of mine that was working in the industry. This was right after Hurricane Irma in 2017. Is that the company's growing. We're looking for smart people and probably a good fit with the culture. And I said, I'll give it a try. And I kind of grew into it. And I fell in love with it as I continued to work and learn. And it's new and exciting. And it gets me out of the office.
There we go. I'd say no pun intended, but you're taking your career to new levels. The roof, right?
yeah, the heights, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So let's talk about challenges or along people's journeys, whether personally or professionally. There's usually something that happens along your journey that we can look back at now and kind of help define who you are today. Is there something that happened along your journey?
I don't know that I've had any wild challenges. I've had a couple aha moments in my life. I had a mentor when I was younger that had given me a piece of advice that I think he'd read from a book or another personal development author. Said, do one thing every day that scares you. And for some reason that really resonated with me. And I wasn't taking a lot of risks in my life and I was living pretty comfortably and I was okay with that. And I realized that if I wanted to grow, that really I needed to become uncomfortable to do that. And so I took that to heart and I try to do something every day that's maybe a little bit out of my comfort zone. This podcast will be a first for me. So
nice.
It's exciting. Yeah. And what that's really done for me is just helped me kind of grow as a person. I've learned a lot of new things. Taking a leap from IT to roofing isn't really a natural progression, but it was one of those uncomfortable moments that's really paid off for me.
And I love that. I love that whole scenario because it's about pushing yourself into new experiences and really finding what you love doing in your passion. So congrats on all that and welcome to your first podcast.
Yeah, thanks. It's great.
So let's talk about myths or misconceptions surrounding the industry that we could kind of clear up for our listeners today.
Sure. So I think roofing as a whole really has a negative connotation in a lot of people's minds. Unprofessional, maybe not the highest quality of craftsmanship, not a really skilled trade. And I really think that it's the complete opposite. It's a very skilled trade. You have to be extremely good at what you do and know exactly what you're doing in order to put it on right. And I think another misconception is that it's just going to be a pain and it's a hassle and it's difficult to deal with roofers. And so that's really where we took that pain point and try to negate it in our business. And we have a really heavy focus on customer service, communicating throughout the project, being very clear on what it is that we're doing with detailed scopes and photo reports. And so everybody knows exactly what they're getting and we're able to under promise and over deliver and provide a great experience.
And you guys are here local, correct? Right?
Yeah, we're in Fort Myers. We actually just, I think tomorrow we're closing on a new building.
Nice.
So we're expanding into a larger footprint. The space we're at now, we're busting at the seams. And so we're looking forward to continuing serving the Fort Myers community.
And I know there's a lot of companies out there that give the industry a bad name because, we call them storm chasers, where they come in from out of state for a little bit, do their job, make their money and get out. You guys are here to stay.
Yeah, and I think that's really has never been a philosophy for us. We don't do the insurance claims. We don't help customers file or get their roofs approved. When you're ready, we'll come out and put a great product on for you. But that whole industry has a negative connotation and tends to provide those problems like putting the roof on and leaving town and leaving problems for others. And I was born and raised in this area. I've got to live here. My family lives here. My kids go to school here. And so I need to make sure that the reputation that we have is a strong one forever.
Absolutely. So, do you notice anything trending or changing in the industry lately?
I would say outside of the changes to the insurance laws here in the state of Florida, I think some of the bigger trends that we're seeing are people are really migrating from shingles or tile into metal roofs. We're seeing a big influx in people requesting metal, and I think of a lot of it has to do with its durability during high wind events like hurricanes and tropical storms. Those tend to hold up really well. So we're seeing a big shift in that, and then on the commercial side, we're seeing a big shift in moving from asphaltic based products into single ply membranes as a cost savings and the overall project.
Now I've seen a lot of houses popping up lately too that have flat roofs. How does that
Mhm.
affect what you guys do?
Well, for us, it's just another roof to put on. We have to think about it a little
Right.
differently because it doesn't drain, as obviously as you would think. But yeah, I have noticed that trend, especially in Cape Coral and some of the surrounding areas, that it's almost like this South Beach vibe is kind of moving in. And so I'm actually kind of a fan of the square modern
Yep.
look of
Yep.
the homes, but it certainly will be challenging for roofers who may be used to only working on residential slope shingle tile or metal if they don't have any experience with commercial flat roofing, which really translates well even if it is a home. It's the same system. They're either going to have to train up or they're going to have to maybe avoid those types of roofs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like you. I love that style. So I'm kind
Yeah,
of welcome to the change a little bit. So you
right.
mentioned you were born and raised here. It's hard to find people like yourself, but
Yeah.
congrats for staying down here and being involved in here. I know what you do is very demanding of your time, but when you do get a free moment, what do you enjoy doing outside of work?
I love fishing, anything on the water, and I think that's why I'll never leave here. It's why I fell in love with this place. It's my happy place when I'm on the water, fishing, or just even hanging out at Picnic Island with the wife and the kids for the weekend. I'm happy. I'm not thinking about all the stresses of work and outside of life, and so I don't know that I'll ever live anywhere that isn't close to the ocean.
Yeah, yeah, that's why we love this area. I blame my parents. I wasn't born down here, sorry, but I got here as quickly as I could. But I love it down here, and vacationing up north is great for a day or two, but knowing that I can come back to Southwest Florida is better than anything. So I'm right
That's
there
right.
with you. So, is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about Lloyd Roofing that they probably wouldn't be too familiar with?
I think something really important for listeners to understand is that we offer more than just roof replacements or whole roofs. We have an entire service and maintenance division that's completely separate from what we call our production division. And so I think a lot of times people only think in terms of, oh, I need a new roof, but we really offer so much more. We offer inspection services. We do reserve studies for large HOAs, so we can go out there and provide them with a budget so to make sure that um, their dues allocations are being collected correctly. So when the roof does come time for replacement, they're available. And then we do repairs and maintenance. So I think that's a really big piece. People just think roofing, they think new roof, I don't need one. But we provide so much more in the service side.
And there's a lot of requirements now by the insurance industry to replace or keep those roofs up to date, correct?
Yeah, that's right. We're seeing, especially on the shingle roofing, right about year 10 or 12, they're going to start requiring you to recertify. And it's concerning and something that we may get vocal about here if we don't see some changes. But some of these roofs are perfectly fine, and yet the insurance companies are either refusing to cover it or they've got to do recertifications every year instead of every 5 years. And so it is coming. It's definitely something that people need to think about. But as long as you're having it inspected and maintained and serviced, which is a big piece of our business, that roof should last you a very long time.
Very good. So how would our listeners go about contacting you if they had questions or wanted to learn more?
Sure. So we have our phone number is 239-284-6748. Lauren will take good care of you when you call. Other than that, we have a website. It's lloydroofingservices.com, and there's lots of information and resources on there where you can learn more about us, what services we offer, and contact us through that method as well.
Very good. Very good. Any last words for our listeners?
No, just do one thing every day that scares you. It'll work out.
That's it. I'm jumping out of a plane. That's what I'm doing.
Perfect.
There we go. Hey, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being such a good neighbor, and I hope to see you out in the community soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com. Or call 239-296-2621.